Hi, I'm Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky, and welcome to the School of Pattern Cutting.
Today we're looking at how you can use a vintage image to inspire your pattern cutting, and we're looking at dart manipulation in particular. We had lots of feedback from people saying how much they love it, so we're going to look at how this image works and how you can draft it. So let's get to it. So let's look at this image in a bit more detail.
I think this image is really exciting, isn't it? Because you look at it and it's quite an optical illusion, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So it looks like, at first glance, if you're wearing a dress or a coat and you're wearing another, like a sort of bolero jacket on top. But what actually is either a house dress or like a sort of day dress or a coat. But by the seam sort of looking like it's open, and when it curves, it looks like you're wearing something else on top.
But it's like when you look at it in detail, you realise that this is a pocket, isn't it? That's really nice. I really like this dress. I think this could look really nice on as well, couldn't it?
It's also, for being from the 1940s, it's actually quite contemporary. Like the fabric is very 40s and the shoulders are 40s. But if you styled it differently, it would look really nice, for example, in just like a wool.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Or two shades.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have, like, so you could just have sort of the difference between a tone and a tone. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Or two sides, or even the same print, use slightly different angles.
Stripe. Yeah, it might be too much.
It's also nice because the collar moves up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not actually just a normal round neck. So that's what it looks like.
Because a round neck probably sits about on the buttons now.
Yes, and you can see how the shoulders got a bit. It's quite a straight cut, so we will need the base darts, and we might even just straighten out our bodice block.
Yeah. So it's going to look like... So this is the block, isn't it? So we're going to straighten this out. Yeah, like that.
We won't use the base darts.
No.
And then it's going to have a line sort of going across. And this there, it sort of hits below, so we're going to extend our bodice block as well.
It's like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it sits like that. Yeah.
So we're just going to show you how to basically move a bust dart into a column.
Yeah.
And what's really important is with a column is how wide you make it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you make it too narrow, it's going to be a button stand, and if you make it too wide, it's become quite unflattering, I think.
So are we going to have a look at putting this button stand in, or are we just going to?
No, you can just mark it on, isn't it?
So it's sort of there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
But you're going to concentrate on the bust dart.
Nice. So we're using felt tip to draw around. We're using felt tip to draw around these. So you'll need to use a pencil because you'll need the accuracy, but we use felt tip so you can see what we're doing. So, but we really recommend a nice sharp pencil for this. And this is our basic bodice block. I think quite fitted.
Yeah, if you wanted that look, you would probably use the coat block because it's slightly too tight. Even if you straighten it, it's going to be more. Because that's got slightly dropped shoulders as well, so this out is going to look more like that. Yeah. But that's always why you have to have a variety of blocks as well, because otherwise you end up spending lots of time adapting your block. So the first thing we're going to do is move the block, move the dart into the shoulder.
Okay.
Just to get out of the way, so we can straighten our side seam.
So do you want to?
Yeah, that's fine. There. As usual, you cut open both lines.
So you're doing this, so we're moving the volume from the bust up onto the shoulder, aren't we?
Yeah. But yeah, you're moving from the side seam, which you want to straighten into the shoulder.
And you cut down, and you try not to cut into that right all the way down, because it's quite nice to get everything as one piece of paper. So we're going to close that up, use a bit of glue. Okay. So close it up by twisting the paper around, like that.
Yeah, and you can always see how our block is too old because it doesn't match anymore. So. For now we're just going to leave this open because we don't actually need it at the moment. We're going to close it later. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, if we extend this line, the waistline, And then we're gonna square up to the shoulder seam.
So do you want this on a right angle?
Yes, squared, completely right angle. And it's sort of, sometimes it seems a bit OCD, but otherwise you end up with really unbalanced
Yeah, so that's
seams.
a right angle there.
Okay, so now we want to draw in. So very probably you've gone up a slightly tiny bit. So what you could do if you wanted to have that sort of look is that you move up your shoulder a little bit, but you would have to widen it first. So I think we're just going to leave it, because we're not 100% sure if it's a collar. So if you look at it, it sort of hits on the shoulder quite maybe 2 centimeters or something.
Yeah.
And then it's parallel, isn't it? So what we need to do is mark 2 centimeters, and then if you extend the center front, and then if you square across and just to measure, so you,
Okay.
so you always so that is 8.5. So so this is where something is actually quite good to see. So if it's 8.5, the whole thing would be 17, isn't it? So that width.
So you'd have to think about.
I think it's too wide. I'm just you can't see. I'm just holding it against.
So it would sit like this, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So 17.5 would sit like that. Yeah. So if you imagine that on your front, that's quite wide.
Yeah.
So
then it becomes nearly like basically a dart. So it sort of becomes it looks too close to the normal one. So I think we might make it just a little bit bigger, smaller. So maybe 8
centimeters.
Try it, but it seems pedantic 1 centimeter, but
it makes all the difference in the end, doesn't it? So that would bring it to here.
Yeah. What I would suggest, if you're pattern cutting for yourself, hold on a piece of paper or a piece of fabric to yourself to see what is
so you can see
width.
this width then, can't you? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we need to mark 8 centimeters at a few places and then draw a parallel line to the center front.
I think pattern cutting is all about being, the tiny measurements make all the difference, don't they? So,
but as you become more, I think especially if you start out, it's really important to be really pedantic, not pedantic, but to actually make sure you do everything right. As you sort of more experienced, sometimes you can be a bit lazy and know what works, but if it doesn't work, you know how to fix it as well, which is different. So this is this line. Yeah. So as you can see, this doesn't really. There's a bit of there's a bit of space between your bust point and your line. But what we're just gonna do is basically we're gonna cut across there, and then we're gonna just close it.
So we're gonna slash across here.
Yeah.
And then
cut up.
Do you want to attach to the top?
No. What we're gonna do now.
So that was there, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what we're just gonna do is close it. So if you open it,
Okay.
and then we're just gonna slightly sort of even out. Yeah. So you can see, because you had to move it down, you lose like 0.5 centimeter.
Okay.
But you should be able to catch it. So this is a really fitted form, so you have to be more careful. But if you were using your coat block, then you only have a tiny dart, because this is quite shapeless, but is a woman. But this doesn't actually even show a dart or any shaping. Looks like it's completely straight. But I think it's always good to have a bit of shaping because you have a bust underneath. So if you want it to look straight, if you want some shaping,
you need a little bit of shaping, don't you?
So the ideal bodice to do this with the bodice block would be a slightly less fitted one. but the technique is the same because all we're gonna do now is. So I'm taking over.
That's okay.
So this is 4 plus 7.5, so that's 11.5. So just gonna make sure the shoulder is still the same. It is, yeah. So you make it slightly flatter, but it isn't completely tight, so that should be fine. So that's our main column now.
Yeah.
So all you now need to have to do is draw in your curve. So we're gonna make it a bit higher than it probably is on the image. But that's when you have to say on the image, it's actually, you can measure exactly how high it is by saying, if I put my arm like this.
Yeah, so you can make the pocket comfortable, can't you?
So it'd be like the high hip, wouldn't be hip bone, but we're gonna make it a bit higher. So all you do now is you draw, you can extend your line down. And extend this down as well and then draw across. Straight. So right angles as usual. Okay, and then we just draw in our shape.
If you use the Pattern Master curve, always use a curve. Yeah, you can do it freehand, but
if you do it in pencil, you might be able to. You could do it freehand.
So you can have that sort of shape, which is much steeper.
Yeah, because that's a really smooth curve here.
Would you want that?
I think it might be this way. I would start like this, and then it doesn't really become right angles. It sort of goes slowly. And then I would then maybe flip it around now and see whether you know.
See, that's nice now, isn't it? And I think you always think you can draw a curve, but it's really tricky.
Yeah.
And it looks a bit, to me, I'm not
That's
happy
still,
with that.
yeah,
bit
that's
there.
still a bit. Basically, it's where you, if you move the pattern master, that's where you get slightly non-adhering. Can you see? So what you might do is every time you move the pattern master, you go over it, and then you just smooth your curves here again, because you suddenly moved your angle. So if you smooth it like this, that's what's nice if you work with pencil as well. You can make sure you get it perfect. Okay, so now we can cut it apart, and then we just put in the notches.
So why do we need notches?
And they just, once you cut out fabric, is to make sure on that curve you know where to match it.
Because otherwise you can quite easily slip, because fabric stretches, doesn't it? So,
yeah, especially if you're using like a nice drapey wool, it really has the ability to be eased. So I would just put one notch here, so you know the top matches. Yeah, and then I would put probably one more here, right in the curve. Okay. So that's your basic pattern manipulation. Yeah. You need to mark the center front, and if it was your coat, you would add in. It's quite a wide button cent.
So that would be here.
Yeah.
It?
So that would extend it. So your buttons would be on the center front.
So your buttons would sit here, wouldn't they?
No, it's right on the center front, don't they?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it always looks weird, but because of course you want it going down your center front. Okay. So this is just a really basic draft. Let us know what you think about it. Enjoy drafting it, and we look forward to seeing your comments.